A ship carrying cargo from St. Petersburg takes around 25 days to reach Mumbai. The ship has to pass through the Suez Canal. A man-made marvel, the Suez Canal is heavily influenced by geopolitical factors, and any disruption can impact global trade significantly. But over the years, the Arctic ice has been melting at a rate faster than in the past, opening up a new shipping route for India, and the newly proposed Chennai-Vladivostok Maritime Corridor or CVMC will soon change everything. Instead of 25 days, ships on this new route will only take 12 days to reach India from Russia. While the harsh weather conditions and limited infrastructure in the Arctic region has made the route dangerous for maritime transportation, this is now changing. Between 2018 and 2022, the cargo traffic along the Northern Sea route grew by 73%. Murmansk, known as the capital of the Arctic region, is seeing a rise in Indian maritime traffic. In the first 7 months of this year, India accounted for 35% of the total cargo handled by the Murmansk port, and its interest in the Northern Sea route is only increasing. So what is the Northern Sea route and how important is it for India? Historically, the European notion about the Northern Sea route is that it is a shipping route along the north coast of Russia that connects the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean through the Arctic Ocean. But it can be used according to Russians to connect Europe with Asia-Pacific region, and it will be shorter than the traditional route that passes through the Suez Canal. Straddling 4 seas of the Arctic Ocean and running to 5,600 kilometers, the route begins at the boundary between the Barents and Kara Seas and ends in the Bering Strait. Russia is keen on promoting NSR as an additional transit route for India, given India's geographical position and the major share of its trade associated with sea transportation. For centuries, sailors and explorers have tried to navigate this route, but the unpredictable weather patterns made it a daunting task. Moreover, the thick ice cover made the voyage impossible without an icebreaker. An icebreaker is a vessel designed to break through thick ice over the water, making way for the ships to follow. But in 1959, Russia made a breakthrough. The world's first nuclear icebreaker, Lenin, was put into operation, marking a new beginning in the Northern Sea route transit. The icebreaker Lenin was put out of service 30 years later. Today, Russia is the only country with a fleet of nuclear-powered icebreakers. Currently, the number in the fleet stands at 7, with 3 more in line before 2027. India's interest in the Arctic dates back to 1920 when it signed the Svalbard Treaty in Paris. Since then, it has set up a research station named Himadri in Svalbard, a multi-sensor mode observatory, and a northernmost atmospheric laboratory in 2014 and 2016. Till last year, 13 Indian expeditions to the Arctic have been successful. In 2013, the country also became an observer state of the Arctic Council, along with 5 others including China. But for a country so far south from the Arctic, one might wonder what is there to gain in the extreme north. The Arctic region has the largest unexplored reserves of hydrocarbons on the Earth. Estimates suggest that 40% of the global oil and gas reserves are in the Arctic. And not just oil, significant reserves of coal, zinc, and silver are also present. However, the Indian government's Arctic policy of 2022 mentions that the country's approach to economic development of the region is guided by the UN Sustainable Development Goals. But even with the ongoing war in Ukraine and the West imposed sanctions on Russia, the Russian government approved the NSR development plan till 2035. Moreover, in March, a Russian delegation met with the Indian business community in Delhi and Mumbai with a promise of support for year-round operations in the Northern Sea route. In the second half of October, a CVMC workshop featuring stakeholders from the 2 countries will be held to step up the joint effort.